So what separates Michael Jordan that makes him the GOAT of basketball, right? Or not even just basketball, but business. What separates him from other people? What decisions has he made in his life? What are his big success secret strategies, tips? I've been doing some studying on this man, and I've come down to three key things that I think really have helped him set himself apart, right? And I'm going to go ahead and gear my notes up here so we can record these and share this with you. But before we dive in, do me a favor. If you like the videos we make, hit the subscribe button. If you don't like the videos I make, go ahead and hit the subscribe button anyways. Just help us out, all right? Just help us out. All right, but let's dive in here seriously, okay? So let's say three success tips from MJ. Right? Or more so that I've learned from kind of studying MJ. All right. So the first thing here, this one is huge, right? I need you guys to really follow me on this one because a lot of people struggle with this. I'm willing to bet that most of you watching this are going to say, okay, yeah, I see that in myself. The first thing that really separated MJ from a lot of people is this. So number one is, I'm going to say, follow the path that makes sense. Follow the path that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, follow the path that makes sense. What do I mean by this? We all know the story of Michael Jordan growing up, right? Or if you don't know the story of him growing up, a lot of you guys watching this will certainly know that at one point he retired from the NBA, went back to play baseball because baseball was his original love, his childhood love. He wanted to be a baseball player, right? So let's go back to when he was a child. Michael Jordan loves baseball, spends so much time out there with his bat, with his gloves, with his baseball, just in love with this game. But at some point, he started getting a little bit more exposure to basketball. His brother played basketball. At some point, he went from 5 foot something to 6'3" to 6'6", and he started shooting up and growing. His hands got bigger. He could pound the basketball more, and his body started changing in a way where it's kind of like, you know what? It makes sense to spend more time playing this game called basketball. It makes sense for me to invest more of my time in this area of life over here, and maybe a little bit less in baseball. And what tends to happen? What tends to happen when you follow what makes sense? Oftentimes you tend to be better than you realize. So you're good at what makes sense, and you start having victories. And when you start getting early victories or late victories, whatever, when you start winning in general and seeing success in the thing that you're pursuing, somehow you start to like it more, right? You start to like it more. I believe that's what happened with Michael Jordan's life, okay? So he loved baseball, but he started growing. He started becoming more athletic in ways that are good for baseball, but great for basketball, right? And when that started happening, he started to see victories. He started winning more. He started dominating his friends more. And because he followed the path that makes sense, it helped him become successful. And it's huge because when you follow this path, you start to win more. Not all the time, but a lot of times you will start to win more. The other day it was actually last night, I was talking to a doctor who's joining our coaching program, and we're discussing, and they were talking about this idea of, hey, you know what? I really want to write about this. This is what I'm passionate about. I really want to write about this. And I love this. I love this. I love this. I took a moment to take a step back. I said, you know what? It's not always about what we love, what we want. Sometimes it's about, okay, what makes the most sense for what I'm trying to get to? What makes the most sense for where I'm trying to get? For example, if I'm writing, like YouTube videos, for example. So I'm making these YouTube videos, and a lot of stuff, there's a lot of things that I'm like, oh, I love this. I want to just make a video about this, and because I love it. But after something, okay, what makes the most sense for me to make a video? I need to make a video that the people who are watching my channel, right? So I've got a growing channel. My subscriber list is growing. It's not phenomenal, but it's a lot more than it was last year. So it's slowly growing, and I'm paying attention to what you all like, and I'm making things that make the most sense, right? And the same thing in life. So sometimes you want to go down this path, and we do this so much. We're so stuck. I want to do this way. I want to do this way. I want to do this way. This has to be the way because I like this. I like this. I like this. And while you like this, maybe you're not meant to do that, right? Maybe it makes more sense. Maybe God has gifted you in certain ways that it makes more sense for you to pursue other things, right? So I've got this Bible verse here. This is a Bible verse that a lot of you all have probably heard before. So it's Proverbs 3:5-6. And it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your path. So what is this saying? This saying sometimes we think we know what we want. Sometimes we want to do what we want. Oh, I know this. I want to do that. I like this. I like that. I like that. Hey, let me take a step back. Let me say, God, what do you want? Right? God, what do you want? Michael Jordan could have swung that baseball bat as much as he wanted. But at some point, God's like, boy, you growing. You growing. I've given you big hands to palm a basketball. I've given you jumping ability to go there and do that dunk from the free throw line, that windmill, right? I've built your body in a way where you can excel at this game called basketball and have crazy impact and influence all over the world. I'm not pretending to be God. I'm not saying that's what God's saying. I'm just giving you a perspective to help you understand that sometimes the path that makes the most sense for us is not necessarily what we thought we wanted in life. Right? It's not necessarily what we thought we wanted in life. So I'm going to ask you this question. What are you holding on to so much because you want it so much and you think you love it so much, knowing that you're gifted? God has gifted you in a different area that perhaps you should consider pursuing. What are you holding on to because you love it, while at the same time knowing that God has gifted you with something else to pursue, a different direction possibly? Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding. Don't lean on your own understanding, right? So that's the first thing. The first thing is follow the path that makes sense. Don't get stuck on what you want, but take a second to think about what makes sense. Don't force a dream to become reality. Don't force a dream to become reality. And look, I know we always talk about don't quit, never quit, never quit. That's kind of a different topic. Okay, I don't want to go down, chase that rabbit hole here, but I'm not telling you to like, oh, just go quitting things or whatever, and I would never seen anything through. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying take inventory of what God has given you. Take inventory of your gifts. Take inventory of your talents. Take inventory of your skills. Take inventory of your physical attributes. Take inventory of your mental attributes. And once you've taken inventory, say, okay, what might I be able to thrive at? And give it a shot. When you start getting these early victories and these wins, these dubs, you might start to like it and fall in love with it. You really might. You really might. Right. All right. So the second thing that Michael Jordan is elite at, is self-motivation. Self-motivation. Okay. So a lot of people really struggle to get pumped up and energized and motivated to do whatever it is that they need to do. A lot of people struggle with it. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with like going online. I watch a whole lot of motivational videos, listen to certain songs to get me pumped up and motivated, right? Michael Jordan may do the same thing, okay? But a lot of times we go outside to the external world, always looking for ways to get ourselves pumped up. Michael Jordan learned to motivate himself by things that happened to him in life, failures. We've heard the story. You've probably heard the story. If not, I'm going to tell you the story. When Michael Jordan was in high school, he got cut from the basketball team. I'm going to tell the truth on the story. A lot of people just say he got cut from the basketball team. Oh, and that's what happened. But he got cut from varsity is what happened. Okay. He got cut from the varsity team. He was a lower class man. He got cut from the varsity team. So it's not as if like he wasn't good enough to play in the high school team at all. He played high school basketball, just got cut from the varsity team. Okay. But nonetheless, he thought he was good enough to play on the varsity team and was upset he didn't make varsity. So that was his motivation for years to come. And how do I know it was his motivation for years to come? Because at his Hall of Fame speech, this is after high school, after college, after a phenomenal, well-distinguished NBA career, at his Hall of Fame speech, his Hall of Fame enshrinement, the man invites one of his high school teammates to the Hall of Fame speech. And on stage, he points this man out and says, not verbatim, but basically this is the point he was making. You got picked on that team over me. Now look at me, right? Petty, I believe. I mean, I'm not going to call Michael Jordan petty. I don't know why he did it if they played. I don't know what's going on there, okay? But I will say, I thought it was strange. But nonetheless, the point there being is that he remembered that all these years, and that had been a driver for him all these years. And you hear stories in The Last Dance, they talk about the stories of Michael Jordan, right? They talk about how he'd be in games and just making stuff up. Like, what'd you say about my mama? Who you talking to? Right? And nobody said anything about his mama. He's just making stuff up to motivate himself. Sometimes in life, I'm not saying make stuff up, but we have got to find ways to motivate ourselves because it's the fuel that keeps you going. Because once you do something over and over and over again, it can get to be boring. It can get to be dull. It can get to be mundane. You've got to find ways to keep motivating yourself. Keep motivating yourself, right? So you might have to make something up imaginary. You might have to think about a goal you want, right? So 2 ways to really get motivated. Number 1 is remember pain. Remember pain. Remember situations that you have been in that you don't want to be in again. Remember pain, right? The second way to kind of pump yourself up to get motivated is imagine desires. Imagine desires. Think about the things you want and how hard you need to work to get there, right? So many people say, "Oh, I want to buy my parents a new house. I want to get my family up out the hood, or I wanted to finally care for cancer." Whatever it is, think about all the things that the desires you want, and let that drive you. And remember those frequently. Remember those frequently. Put them in your room. Put signs up, right? Self motivate. Don't rely on other people to come say, "I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in you." Believe in yourself. Motivate yourself. Michael Jordan excelled at that. Michael Jordan excelled at that, right? Bible verse for this. I'm going to write it here. James 1:2-3, right? I love this verse. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. Count it all joy. The testing of your faith produces steadfastness. So essentially, when you go through these difficult times, Michael Jordan being cut from the basketball team, right? Or maybe you lose a job, right? Maybe you lose a big account on a job. Maybe you're taking care of patients and something doesn't go right with the patient and it's hurting. It's hard to overcome. And I've been there. I have been there. I've been in all the situations. I've been cut from the sports team when I was a kid, right? I've had patients that things didn't go exactly the way any of us wanted, the family or anything of that sort, right? I have had, for my businesses, big accounts that I've lost, right? I've been in all those situations and it sucks. It hurts. It stinks, but you have to count it all joy because that testing of your faith will produce that steadfastness that you need to really be able to go from here to the next level, to the highest levels, right? You will be tried, right? You'll be tried in life. There are going to be things that are going to be difficult, but these things help you. So you need to turn your setbacks into fuel. Turn your setbacks into fuel. Let the rejection push you to work harder and not give up. All right, let's dive into number 3 here. Get my pen back out. All right, so number 3, the third secret from Michael Jordan, or success tip I've got from Michael Jordan, is know your value. Know your value. This is huge because I dare say most of us do not know our value at all. Most of us do not know our value. We don't know what we're worth, and because we don't know what we're worth, we're willing to accept anything. Because we don't know what we're worth, we're willing to accept anything, right? So Michael Jordan comes to the NBA, 1984, superstar. He's out here just, dominating as a rookie and just keeps getting better and better and better, okay? He gets a deal offered from Nike. The Nike deal is not what he wants, right? They want to pay him a contract, standard contract like everybody else gets. That's not what he wants. So what does he do? He demands a percentage off of Jumpman. Now everybody rocking Jumpman. Everybody's got, Jumpman's a little Jordan logo you see everywhere. He demands a percentage of that's going to pay him out for generations to come, right? A lifetime deal, I believe, but he's going to make enough money that can carry over generations. The man's a billionaire, right? Why? How did that work? It's because he knew his value. He could have said, "Oh yeah, give me the same contracts as everybody else." But he said, "You know what? I think I'm more valuable than what you guys are offering me. I think I'm more valuable than what you offer me." Because of that, he demanded more and he got more. He got more. And it didn't just benefit Jordan. I mean, look how many people rocking Jumpman. Look how it impacted society, how many jobs it's provided, how many camps, opportunities. The Jordan brand has impacted so many lives in society over the past, almost 40 years now. 40 years. Yeah, it's 40 plus years now. And know your value. Same thing with LeBron James. He got offered this big contract when he came in the NBA. He was like, "Nah, if y'all offering me that, I know I can get more than that." So he turned it down, waited a little bit, negotiated more, got way more than that. Know your value, right? Know your value. At the same time, as I'm telling you that Jordan, LeBron, these people were undervalued. Don't overvalue yourself. And when I say overvalue yourself, I believe that we're children. I believe that, we're created in the image of God. And because of that, I don't think you can really put a number to our value, obviously, right? But essentially what I'm saying is, say you're a speaker. Don't go up there and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm not going to come speak unless you give me $100,000 because I'm worth it." Yet you've never done any public speaking engagements. Okay. So I'm not saying overvalue. I'm saying know your value, right? Know your value. And with that knowledge of your value, use it to determine, how you move in life. You determine how much you're going to charge for certain things, where you spend your time, things of that sort. But you have to understand your value. I know it sounds kind of like, what does that mean? But it means a lot. It means a lot. It means, okay, how am I going to let people talk to me? Am I going to let just anybody talk to me anyway? No, because I know my value. I know I'm in the imago Dei, the image of God, right? Oh, they want to pay me this. Nah, I'm gonna ask for more money than that because I know I can get paid more money than that over there, right? And this has been huge for me lately. I'll tell you, because I've been over the past few years, I've been doing so many things in life, and it's good to do things. Everything's not about money, but I've been doing so many things in life that have been an absolute drain of my energy. Like, just been so tired, just so much, doing so many things, and they're not really paying as much as I get paid to do some other things, right? And it got to the point where I say, as much as I love doing this, the value, what I'm making from it, is not equating to the time that I'm putting into it. So I have to let it go. Right? Things like that come from knowing my value. When I get invited to speak, people try to, I still do a lot of, public speaking. People invite me to speak and they say, hey, we can pay this. And, before I used to feel like, I feel bad, but I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because my value is a lot more than that. And while people might think that I'm being mean for turning down speaking engagement, it's not that I'm being mean. It's the fact that, I've got stuff to do. I've got a job. I've got a wife. I've got kids. I've got a lot of things to do. And if you're going to take me from my environment, put me there, there's value to my time. And if you don't appreciate that, that's fine. It just means that I'm not going to be able to come speak, right? And all that just comes from understanding my value. So I want you all to take a moment and think, what is an hour worth to you, right? Depends on the situation, the scenario, of course, but know your value. Michael Jordan knew his value, and look where that got him, okay? All right, Michael Jordan knew his value, and look where that got him, all right? And I have got a great Bible verse here. So this verse is 1 Timothy 5:18, and it says, the laborer deserves his wages. The laborer deserves his wages. So what does that mean? That means that if you're going to work for somebody, if you're doing something that there is an exchange of money, an exchange of resources, you deserve your value. You deserve your value, and it's okay to ask for your value. You've got to speak up. You've got to advocate for yourself. It's okay to ask for your value. Michael Jordan did it. It turned out pretty okay for him, right? All right, so let's recap real quick, guys. This is a quick video here. So 3 success tips from Michael Jordan that are huge if you can really take them, think about them, and start applying them to your day-to-day life. Number 1 is follow the path that makes sense. And this is the one that I think is the most important that a lot of people aren't getting. People want to follow the path that they want to follow. Take a step back, and I urge you to at least consider the path that makes sense, right? It's not just, life isn't all about what do we want. Consider the path that makes the most sense for where you're trying to get to in the long run, really, right? Number 2 is self-motivation. You got to know how to motivate yourself, right? Everybody's not going to be looking out for you. You're not going to have a team of cheerleaders following you around everywhere you go. You're going to have down times. You're going to have hard times. You need to know how to motivate yourself. And number 3, know your value. Don't let anybody treat you any which way, pay you anyhow much. Know your value. Advocate for yourself. Stand up and leverage that to get to the next level that you're trying to get to. All right. 3 success tips that I've learned from studying Michael Jordan over the years. All right, fam. One more time. Do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Like, share, and comment. Like, share, and comment. All right. And let's see here. I want to give a buzzword to you guys. If you appreciate the video, and actually, you know what? Do this. If you think MJ is the GOAT, go ahead and drop that in the comments. I want to know how many of y'all think MJ is the GOAT versus LeBron versus Kobe. I might get some AIs. If I'm being transparent, I think little guys don't get love in the league and NBA, but I think Steph Curry, honestly, really inch for inch, might be the best player to play in the NBA. I'm just saying. All right, fam. Appreciate you guys watching. I'm praying for you, and I want you to remember that you have permission to be great. Love you.